Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the FTW Podcast, the wrestling world in all its laughable glory. Tonight is episode number 144, coming to you live on December 18th, 2012. Tonight we talk, would less of TNA be a good thing? All that and much more on the week that was in WWE and TNA. My name is Harrison, and with us tonight is Joe. Say hello, Joe.
Ho, ho, ho. You know it.
Rob. Say hello, Rob.
Hey.
And we have a special treat for you folks. End of the year time. That means it is time for our version of Santa. Kevin is back. Say hello, Kevin.
What's up?
And Garvin is manning the boards. If you're listening through iTunes, YouTube, or through your favorite podcast player, make sure to check out theftwpodcast.com for more about us and how to get involved in upcoming discussions. You can also find out more about us on Twitter and Facebook. All those links are listed right there at ftwpodcast.com. For those listening live tonight on ftwlive.com, the live chat hooligans at it. Glad you could show up. Let's just dive right in this. TNA, first things first, Rob. Guys, we got to talk about it. Velvet Sky is back, and she's got win number 2 against Madison Rayne. How are we feeling about the return of Velvet Sky? I mean, do we think that she's getting some quality work going on here, or are we thinking, well, this might not be as great as we think it could be?
I think it would. Well, go ahead, Rob.
Go ahead, Joe.
I think from what we've seen so far, it's been pretty good for a comeback. I'll say it now. I'm not a fan of the outfit. It looks like she stole MVP's ring gear.
What are you, a different kind of fetish?
Okay. Personally, because Joe ended with fashion, I guess I'll start there. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with her ring gear. Outside of that, I think I like the way her return's going so far. You know, she's got a couple of matches under her belt. She's looked pretty good. TNA is definitely allowing her to open up her moveset a little bit more and be a little bit more the Velvet Sky she was wrestling in the Indies as far as her actual skill and talent goes. And we saw a couple of hints that, you know, TNA might be thinking of trying to pick up where they left off with a potential Mickie James versus Velvet Sky feud, which could be cool.
No, I mean, okay, it's easy to kind of have that pie in the sky dream, so to speak, especially considering that's what we'd all love, especially between the two of them. The only problem with that, though, is that lately we've seen sort of distancing from the Divas division by TNA, and we really haven't seen any upswing of that. I mean, if you had to look at the divisions of TNA and say what's really lacking, I mean, the X division's number 1. You could argue that the Divas division may be tied for the tag division. I'm sorry?
Knockouts division.
I'm sorry, Knockouts division. Okay, full disclosure, I'm kind of weird drunk right now. I got new glasses that correct an astigmatism, and that makes you feel kind of swimmy. So when you're drinking and have that going on, it's like it's a weird drunk. I don't know. I was telling the guys in the pre-show, it's like if you've ever been hammered.
Of alcohol here, so that's great.
All I've had is one Sam Adams Winter Lager, so I'm like sober, but the entire world is swimming. It's weird.
First of all, you live in Cleveland.
It was out. Don't give me that, man. It was sold out.
Fair enough.
It was sold out of 2 different stores. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, I'm gonna jump in and just say that there are people in Cleveland who don't like Christmas ale, and I appreciate that because I do not like Christmas ale. But I am drinking a Great Lakes Blackout Stout. Thank you very much, Garvin. Anyway, continue.
Okay. Well, anyway, whatever else. So Rob, do you really see them taking Velvet Sky and building a solid program with her return? I mean, is that pie in the sky, or realistically, do you think that's going to happen?
Well, I think it's going to happen. I mean, she came out and said that 2013 is going to be her year, and TNA seems to be getting behind that. I'm sure there was some kind of I'm sure there was something in her contract negotiations regarding this, because we talked about how in her last run, Velvet Sky kept getting screwed over. They'd build her up and then they'd screw her over, build her up and then screw her over. So I'm sure that Velvet brought that up in contract negotiations, and hopefully they got that taken care of.
Doesn't that kind of seem stupid though? Because it's almost then you're negotiating that you're going to get a title shot or a title run in there.
Well, that's
talent promises have always been part of the game.
Yeah, I mean,
But I've never actually heard that as being a contract negotiation thing, aside from, let's say, The Rock. Like, in this next run is what we're assuming. But
I'm sure it's. I'm sure
It might be a handshake agreement. It might not be explicitly written, but it might be one of those things where Velvet's like, all right, I'll do this if you guys, gentleman's honor, that you're going to, do something with me and not just have me come back and job to.
all right, if I let the pigeons loose, you got to give me something.
And we've heard it before with both in WWE and TNA. I mean, Kurt Angle, when his contract was nearing the end, he said that he'd re-sign with TNA, but he wanted to have a spot in major storylines. He wanted to be one of the top guys, So it's not uncommon. Like Harrison said, I don't think it's written in the contract. We promise to give you 3 title shots and 1 title reign. But I think it's more, okay, we're going to do something with you if you re-sign with us, other than...
Yeah, we'll put you in a major storyline. You're going to get your ass handed to you by aces and eights.
Yeah.
There you go, Pope.
That's a fair point. All right, so moving on to Rob's favorite whipping boy, the aces and eights storyline. We kind of had a little, just hear me out. We kind of had a little turn almost with them because they said that, they, so basically the implications are that between their interaction with Rude, that they got a better offer. So now they're mercenaries or something. It just seems like we're not getting a clear picture on what aces and eights want. So it makes it very hard to build any kind of conflict there. I mean, what do you think about this latest turn? Do you think it's interesting, or do you think, once again, Rob, like you always say,
I hate to beat a dead horse, I really do. And I think I've taken this horse out back, shot it, and then beat it a few times, but...
You fucking raped its corpse. Let's not sugarcoat it here.
Damn, Kevin out the gates, folks! Woo!
Later.
I think this is further proof that TNA hasn't really decided. I mean, TNA is basically still trying to decide what they want aces and eights to be.
See, Rob, I think they figured it out. They want them to be a bigger APA.
Well, I was getting to that. When we first saw aces and eights, their goal was to destroy TNA. They were going to take TNA out one wrestler at a time. Now they're the fucking APA, only not as good as the APA.
Yeah, I can agree with that. As far as them being not as good as the APA, I love the APA. I thought that was a great gimmick.
I love the APA because we need beer money. Seriously,
that was really good.
Not like that slogan.
That's a fair point. Okay, so how about here's the thing, though, you got to understand. I mean, it seems like TNA has really been kind of, other than Velvet Sky and a few other things, they've been kind of in a holding pattern almost since Final Resolution. Like, they're almost waiting for the new year. Do you think this isn't so much a change as they're just kind of buying time? They're just kind of kicking the can down until whatever the January pay-per-view is.
Genesis. See, I'd like to think that, but the problem with that is there's still a change, because if you intend on keeping aces and eights in this whole we're out to destroy TNA mindset that they had when they first came in, turning them into an incredibly shitty version of the APA doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really even kill time for you that well. And now back in January, they're going to turn back? No, you know what? We've taken enough of your money. Now we've decided we're just going to beat the shit out of you people some more.
Okay. Jet saying it is something fresh from Aces and Eights. They were saying they also agree that it was kind of reminded them of the APA just a little bit. Others are saying they just want this to end. They just want to just bury this damn thing.
Saying, back behind the shed and double tap it.
Also saying, it fits with what was seen on Sons of Anarchy. I just wish they didn't rip their whole gimmick from that one show. Maybe I should stop watching TNA then, because I'm just now getting into the second season of Sons of Anarchy and I don't want anything spoiled. They're also saying, but they only have revealed 2 people still. That's the thing, though. It just feels like a really, really slow burn, and we're not... I think it would be different if we had a clear direction of where Aces and Eights were going. Like their goal was to put their guy in charge of TNA, or they wanted to completely lock out a pay-per-view or something like that. Then it would be interesting going forward to see that conflict. But we're not seeing that at all. Like we're not seeing any end game, so to speak, or any hints of an end game. It's just the truck's rolling down the street, in neutral, and see what happens.
On that note, I think if anybody who's got a drink should now drink.
I'm empty.
Let's see. I'll refill the SoCo and take a drink here.
Gross. All right.
I know it's kind of like a wrestling with beer episode, but hey man, this is our holiday party.
This is the company Christmas party. Yes. All right. Kenny King, getting a decent, do you want to say a decent push over RVD? I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, do you think we're going to have, we kind of said it'd be nice for a little more action in the X Division. Do you think this kind of delivers on that?
I don't know. I kind of liked it. The two had a good match. I'm not quite sure about, it seems like they're kind of nudging Kenny King heel. It'll be interesting to see. I don't think he can pull that role off.
So you really don't think he could pull a heel off, even if he had someone like RVD to kind of build the character around?
I'm saying, based on what I saw, his backstage segment wasn't all that good. The cheap win, it works, but we'll have to see where things go from there.
Okay, hang on. What was that, Garv? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's just look at what we've seen. We haven't seen a whole lot. I mean, this is the first time that they've given him the opportunity to show some character at all. I mean, before that, he was basically pushed as a good wrestler. That's all they gave him a leash to do. And now they're giving him some room to grow. So I think it's way too soon to start judging him on what he's doing as a heel. But I definitely think what we've seen, he can work as a heel really well.
How so? He had a fairly crappy backstage segment, and he won by putting his feet on the ropes, which is basically how to be a heel 101.
Sure. It's a very generic formula to build someone as a heel. But I think, how he did it, he didn't look awkward doing it. To me, it felt natural for him to do it, and the way he reacted when he got that win, I think, overall it felt good. It felt like it was a good direction for him. But, as far as saying it wasn't good at all, I think is way too early to rush to that decision.
I'm not saying he couldn't turn into a good heel. I'm saying based on what I saw, I didn't see anything really good in this episode of Impact. His backstage segment, like I said, wasn't all that good. But that could be chalked up to, he's still getting used to the character. The match was great. I wish they had come up with something a little bit better than the generic feet on the ropes thing, which he almost botched.
Almost, almost doesn't count.
But TNA seems committed to it. I mean, they had he reacted to the win good. They've already got Taz pushing him as a heel. Saying, well, it's all right, whatever you have to do to win. We could see a decent feud coming out of it. My hope is that we do see a decent feud coming out of this and see what RVD and Kenny King can do.
Sure.
I'm kind of nervous about the whole thing, though, because RVD has had a string of really good matches, which means he's due for an incredibly shitty match.
Someone's going to die.
Yeah.
Look, we got to be honest, that bullet is coming out of the chamber, and it's going to somebody, so...
They'll probably give him a blow-off match with Robbie E., and that's when Robbie E. will, break something for him.
Either that, Either that, or it's a sign that the Mayans may be right and the world's about to end in a few days.
On Thursday? Yeah. All right, so Bully Ray, his segment with Hogan and his match later that night. Rob, how do you feel about Bully Ray? I mean, do you still think he's the best one? I mean, do you still think he's like top 2, top 3 talent maybe to carry the show?
God, yes. The segment was pretty good. I really liked him getting in Hogan's face. And the match was even better. The match was great because, most people, especially people who aren't really big fans of wrestling, look at like the chop as kind of just like a setup move that doesn't do much damage. Mm-hmm. And Bully Ray proved that wrong. Bully Ray hit a chop on Jesse in the match. I thought Jesse's left pec was going to explode. For like the rest of the match afterwards, there's like this huge purple handprint stuck on Jesse's chest. And the look that Bully Ray had on his face for like most of the match was great. I mean, he comes down to the match like, I'm gonna kill whoever's in the ring, and Taz did a great job of pushing it. Taz is like, I've seen Bully Ray with that look and nothing good happens.
Chat's saying that Bully Ray and Hogan look good. It shows that Bully Ray really wants Hogan to trust him. It's one of those things that he is pushing really hard to get Hogan to trust him. Do you think it's legitimate, or do you think that we're going to see a swerve coming soon? I mean, what about that idea?
We could potentially be seeing a swerve, but TNA's got a few heels among the top guys, especially with Austin Aries going back to a heel. So I think they could stick with Bully Ray as face for a little while, especially if they're going to continue running with the aces and eights thing. Throughout his career, Bully Ray, it's really been 50-50. Half of his career as a face, half of his career as a heel. So we really could see it go either way. I kind of like seeing him
going face.
Yeah, I kind of like seeing him where he is right now, where he's not necessarily a good guy, but he ends up being in the good guy role just because of who he's going after at the moment. Okay,
just an archetypal or an archetype tweener then. That's cool. Chet saying Hogan and Marky Ray. Marky Ray in Hogan's office. Marky Ray tore it up. Hogan was terrible. He actually said that Marky Ray was weak. Clearly, he has not been watching Impact. Yeah. I can kind of agree with that. It did seem kind of clutchy when Hogan dropped that one off.
Yeah. Bully Ray obviously carried the segment. Hogan proved that he either has forgotten how to deliver a decent promo or he's not watching his own product. Okay.
Garv, what do you got?
Yeah, and the thing is, it's just so refreshing. It was such a refreshing angle of how they did that segment. The language was very colorful, I guess you could say, which is something you don't hear very often, especially in wrestling. So, I think overall, it did what it needed to do for that storyline. It got everyone excited, and otherwise, Impact really wasn't that entertaining overall. So that was like the one major highlight that seemed to get everyone excited about what they're doing. Not necessarily Hogan's involvement, because Hogan's involvement did suck, but just Bully Ray, just the pure emotion that the guy had was just awesome.
You agree or disagree, Rob? You gonna back him up or you gonna shoot him down?
No, I agree with Garvin on that.
Hoping
Bully Ray's been doing really good at getting the crowd involved. I mean, driving the storyline forward. I mean, the storyline between him and Brooke Hogan and Austin Aries and everything, that would be going nowhere without Austin Aries and Bully Ray.
Oh, hands down.
And to a limited extent, Brooke Hogan. Hulk Hogan is doing nothing to carry that storyline.
Yeah. Hands down, Rob. You are absolutely correct with that. All right, so we got some news, TNA-wise. I refuse to believe this actually happened, but I'm going to read it anyway. Buff Bagwell stated in an interview that he will most likely be in TNA.
Whoa! Buff Bagwell?
Buff Bagwell.
I literally choked on my drink. Hold on here. Let me read this. God, I'm sorry, Harrison.
Hey,
go ahead.
No, man, he might be the Jericho of TNA. They wheel him out when the ratings are low, hoping that he'll get a shot.
Buff fucking Bagwell?
There it is. Yeah.
What hole did he crawl out of?
I don't know, but here's the funny thing. Eric Bischoff refuted those claims and said he hasn't spoken to Bagwell in 15 years.
That is hilarious.
Wow.
When Bagwell says, yeah, I'm going to TNA, and Eric Bischoff says, no, he's not.
No, it's more like, I'm going to TNA, and they're like, all right, buy a ticket, bitch.
Yeah, stay in an Orlando hotel. I mean, that's a pretty harsh burn. That's almost as bad as the last time I spoke to Buff Bagwell. We had a white president. All right, Jeff Hardy released his first full album.
That's Harrison at ftwpodcast.com.
Fucking Bagwell.
We blew Kevin's mind. Jeff Hardy has released his first full album. We should all just pitch it in for Rob, right? You want it for Christmas, buddy? We can get it for you.
Deal. No. He's got my $5.
Yeah, all right. We'll get it for you. I'm pretty sure we can find it on.
I'm sure Jeff Hardy will pay you $5 to download it from iTunes.
Well, if Jeff Hardy's going to pay me to download the album, then yeah, sure.
Okay, but you actually have to listen to it.
If he pays me, I'll listen to it. Yeah.
No. This is okay. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes here. I'm sorry. This is bullshit. I had to watch a porn with China in it. You can listen to one Jeff Hardy album.
That's where I'm going with this, Harrison. If somebody buys it for me, I will listen to it because there will never be a bigger critic of Jeff Hardy than me. So no one will tear that album apart more than I will.
All right, fine. Kevin, you get the album, you do it, then you come on and do the review. And I don't have to do Hogan's porn.
No
there.
way. No. I will never buy that album. But if an FTW listener or someone on the podcast buys it for me,
Kevin, is this what you want for Christmas? Is this what you're telling me?
Joe, that's what he's telling you. He wants it for Christmas. Harrison, you make a good point. I will see.
I am throwing the headset off to come to your house, chase you like a man for those comments.
Harrison, you make a good point. I will see if I can get hold of the album and check it out and do a review of it.
You and Kevin. I think that'd be epic. I think that'd be epic to hear you guys talk about it, just because you're so calm and everything, except when it's
do it too. Because he's not doing anything else.
Well, he's kicking out rumors that he'd be in TNA.
Yeah.
All right. James Storm actually dropped a pretty interesting bomb here that it's going to sound kind of weird coming from him, but just stick with it because it's kind of cool. He says, you have a pay-per-view every month now, but there are only 4 per year back when he was growing up. I'm assuming in the days of black and white TV. Nowadays, there's so much going on with WWE, UFC,
or the 80s.
and TNA all running their big shows on a monthly basis. So I definitely think that wrestling should return to only running those 4 big shows every year. That way, there's more time to build up storylines, and you see a bigger pay-per-view payoff from that. So I'm going to kick this to you guys, kind of, ask FTW style, 30 seconds each. Do you like this idea, and what are the chances of TNA actually going back to 4 pay-per-views by 2014? Joe.
Here's the problem. Going back to 4 is impossible if you want to see guys like CM Punk get a title. Because CM Punk... But I'm just saying, guys you want to see get a title who may not be like the top guy, but they're good, will not see a shot at a title because they rarely do title changes not on pay-per-view. That being said, I like the idea, and I'm glad TNA's already cut 2 of them out. WWE needs to follow suit and get rid of at least 3.
Okay. Rob, what do you think?
I'm kind of with Joe on this, although I think if you go to 4 pay-per-views a year, we'll see a lot more title changes on regular TV programs because most titles have to be defended every month. But TNA's already taking steps in the right direction. I don't know if they'll go down to 4, but I could see them cutting out a few more.
Okay. Kevin, what you got?
TNA's Storm's dead on. He's exactly right. It'll never happen. Well, WWE, it'll never happen. TNA, I doubt it. I mean, would I like to see it? Yes, even if they just went down to like 6, like once every 2 months. You're talking about more build-up. You're talking about the ability to have a better feud, which has been squashed by the giant amount of pay-per-views they have. He's dead on, but cynicism tells me the almighty dollar will rule.
Oh, wow. Fair point. All right, Garv, what do you got?
Yeah, I love this idea. I also like the idea of them jumping down to 4 pay-per-views, but again, I don't see that happening. But one thing, Joe, to keep in mind is they also have been pushing this idea of Championship Thursdays once a month. I think it's like the second Impact in between pay-per-views that they have at least 1 title, sometimes 2 titles on the line. So, the idea that, the title will be defended less, I don't think it is as big of an issue. It's just that, that they won't have as big of a stage as they do now. As far as opportunities for more guys to get the title, they won't have that big stage. Instead,
Understood.
They'll have to, do it on regular TV. And that's not bad. That's not a bad, concept.
Yeah, I don't know about, personally for me, I don't know about 4. I can see 6 every 2 months. It would kind of fit. But I mean, if you had to look at it between TNA and WWE, it's clear TNA would be the most thing. Because it's the one thing that we always talk about. They don't really promote their pay-per-views, and they don't really talk about them afterwards. They just kind of happen. They just kind of wash through them, So
well, it's where WWE, though, needs to, I know we're still kind of on the TNA topic here, but WWE's got 13 in 12 months.
Yeah, that is a problem.
You're that September, October, November period just blows.
Yeah, you're looking to drop about $180, maybe over $200 in 2 months. That's insane. Chet's agreeing with you. They're saying they wish WWE would do this, to be honest. They also say, I don't think that I want TNA scaling things back so far. Maybe 8 would be a good thing. I could see them starting with 12, then going to 10, going to 8, and just feeling how it goes. And the other one, also a very good point. Who would pay $50 to $60 a month for this? They only pay that much if they marked out like a kid every match, and they currently don't. That's another good point, too. I mean, if you spread the product thin, you're getting less each month. So maybe going to 4 big pay-per-views a year, or 6 or 8, whatever it is, might be a good thing for TNA. Anyway, just want a special shout-out, Kevin. Thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate it. More you can be on, the better. We miss you. And, quality work, as always.
Nobody misses me. Don't lie.
With every bullet so far, man.
Everybody's like, damn it, make this end sooner. It's that dumbass gets off the air.
Oh, he's starting to sound drunk now.
All right, let's get it before he slides off into a nap. All right, that is it. That is the show. Why don't you go out and check out FTW? This is a lot easier to do when Lee and Mike aren't bickering at each other. And it's the show. Why not check out FTWpodcast.com for more information about us and how to get involved in the future. There's a little support tab where you can go clicky and you can donate. You can buy some merch. You can also there are also links there on iTunes and Stitcher so that you can go and rate us. We accept no less than 4 stars because we deserve it, damn it. And do it for Kevin. Come on. Thank you, everyone in the live chat. We record every FTW podcast episode on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time at ftwlive.com. See you next Tuesday.
No.
Peace in the Middle East. Oh, no, that's right. We won't be on next Tuesday because it's Christmas.
No.
Oh, special.
Way to know our schedule
there will be man. There will be a Christmas episode, but if you were planning on taking the week off, this is the week to do it, listeners.
Yeah, just go enjoy. Go spend time with your family. Don't listen to us.
Yeah, but January 1st, though. January 1st is going to be our 2012 year-end review show, our year-end review discussion. So that's the show to tune into.
And then we're going to do that and the preview for the coming year, right? Aren't we combining those?
Yeah, there will be some 2013 predictions.
Yeah, which it feels like forever away. I got vacation coming up next week. All right, we do want to give a special shout out to at one up _ your life on Twitter. Who posted this picture of Bully Ray jumping out of an Apache helicopter with my quote, "Peace in the Middle East," which I like to think that would be the best solution for Palestine and Jerusalem and Israel is to then ship Bully Ray over there and have him just jump out of a helicopter. and just give him nothing but an iPhone with a good data plan to tell him to do his thing. Oh man, that just made me laugh so hard. Peace in the Middle East with my fire-breathing Twitter machine. Listen, Al Qaeda, I respect the hell out of you, but you gotta change tack, man. This thing with the bombings, it's not working. People hate you. Oh man, that'd be awesome.
I'm guessing we're done.
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay.